listener production.
Hey, it's Helen Smith here with the Weekend Briefing. Amy Shark is one of Australia's biggest names in pop music. And while she might have seemed like an overnight success, that's far from the truth. Amy changed her stage name to Amy Shark back in 2013 and since then has continued to skyrocket, winning multiple ARIA Awards, working with Ed Sheeran, Diplo, Keith Urban, the Chainsmokers, and all of the current members of Blink-182. Amy's new album, Sunday Sadness, features 11 tracks and a dream lineup of producers, including Kid Harpoon, who has produced and co-written with Harry Styles and Miley Cyrus, just to name a few. In this chat, Amy takes us through how the live music scene has changed over the last decade, what songs she can't wait to perform on her upcoming tour, and which A-lister she met backstage at James Corden. And later in the show, we have the weekend list, where I will be joined by our very own The Briefing's Sasha Barbagat, where we'll recommend everything to watch, eat, do, and listen to. But first, here's my chat with Amy Shark. Amy Shark, welcome to the Weekend Briefing. Firstly, I want to go back to your childhood and teenage years growing up on the Gold Coast. What kind of music did you listen to?
I think like when I sort of graduated from the Spice Girl era or whatever was, top of the pops. And I think the first band I found was Silverchair, because my parents were quite young, and so they were fully into like Silverchair and a lot of alternative stuff. So I naturally had a really cool library of music to just start off with that I thought was normal until I started going around to my friends' houses, and their like parents listened to really lame stuff, and I would go home and they'd be like Smashing Pumpkins and like just Bruce Springsteen and just cool stuff. So I was kicked off to a good start, and then it was a lot of like alternative, like Blink-182 and Newfound Glory, and I really just loved guitar. Like I loved guitar-y sort of stuff. Yeah.
We'll get to the Blink stuff in a bit because you kind of did a full circle moment with that.
Yeah.
Sounds like you just had cool parents, but also
young
parents.
yeah. But they were cool. Like all my friends were like, your parents are cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair. But was there a time where you were, in those teenage years or just finishing high school when you were like, yeah, I want to be an artist?
Yeah, I did, but the thought of even being able to play guitar, let alone play and sing, I thought that it was a thing that you just were born with. It's not something that you could learn. Like I was like, never would I know how to do that. Like, and then we got to high school and some dudes I was hanging out with were really good at guitar, and they were like, let me just show you a couple of chords. I was kind of into it, and then what happened was my brother went and had guitar lessons, and I thought I was too busy with all my friends and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to commit the time. But then Mitch came home and my grandparents bought him a guitar and he knew how to play stuff. He's like 6 years younger than me. And I was like, whoa, hang on. I want to do them now. So then my mum was like, well, you got to call your grandparents, and because they were the ones paying for it, whatever. Yeah. So I called them up and I go, yeah, I want to do it. I want to do the guitar lessons now. So I got my guitar and I started lessons, and I had a really cool teacher too, because he kind of figured me out. He was like, like we had to learn the classical stuff, but then at the end of each class, he would be like, what do you want to learn? So I'd be like, okay, this riff to Enter Sandman or this Alanis Morissette song or whatever. And he would teach me. So I basically did the lessons just to get to learn the riff that he would show me after.
So the competitive sibling rivalry, and you were like, yeah, no, that's going to be me.
Yeah. I just wanted the guitar, to be honest.
Yeah. You went from that, doing the guitar, and then you gigged for ages, and you gigged everywhere and anywhere, and the hustle was real. And then you changed your name to Amy Shark in around 2013. What happened after you changed your name? How did that change your career?
Not much changed for a good couple of years after I did that. I was just trying anything. Like I had a few different names, a few different, just trialing things. And when you're learning, like, I'm glad a lot of things didn't work because I looked weird. My songs weren't ready. My voice wasn't ready. I didn't know who I was. There would be photo shoots where I'd look very country, and then photo shoots, some random dudes told me that I need to wear more dresses, so I looked very feminine when that's not really who I am. So it was kind of good in a way that it took me a while, but there was something about Amy Shark that I've always loved sharks. It wasn't even me that wrote it down. It was my boyfriend at the time who wrote it down, and I was like, that sounds like perfect because it's kind of like there's a part of me in the Amy, and then there's this monster. And that's the songwriting person who is non-edited and just writes things. So it felt strong.
Speaking of strong, your husband was kind of there along the way and turned into your manager, and you kind of both grew together over the years. Do you think that this Amy Shark and your character and who you are today would be the same without him?
No, I wouldn't be doing it. Like, I just wouldn't, because I really needed someone to help. Like, I'm not business minded. I just like writing songs, and that's where it started. It was just super simple. And Shane loves music and is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. And he's also very competitive. We're both quite competitive, but he was not ready to give up. And he would see me doing it all the time for free. And I basically worked every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday so I could afford to go and record my own stuff on the weekends. So he just believed in me, I think. And we didn't know what was going to happen, but there was obviously something there that kept him believing that I could do it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, look,
yeah,
it bloody paid off.
I know. There's so many times I look at it now and I'm like, man, you really just need that one person. And if it can be your person, if it can be your partner, you can be a force to be reckoned with, because, you've got each other's back.
Yeah, totally. How do you manage that professional and then personal balance as well? Because if you're in each other's life like that, so much,
we want to kill each other a lot. Yeah, no, we do. It's like any marriage, but you have to we're really good at communicating, and nothing goes unspoken. Like, there's no feelings that I harbor that I explode, and we just talk things through so things don't get big enough to make them a real problem. And that we just learnt that over time, and it's still super hard. Like, there's nights where I don't want to talk about it, but he needs to discuss the calendar and I'm just sick of it. Or there's times where I'm like, hey, what's going on? I just want to know what the next month looks like. And he'll be like, I can't right now because I've just spoken about you all day and I just need a break. So we're just like, there's constant battle because it consumes our life, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of battling, you were a judge on Australian Idol, and not all the judges always get along, but do you think this concept of reality TV and singing shows, do you think that they can still make someone a star like they used to?
Not in the playbook that was then. Even now, like, I look at what happened with me only like about 6 years ago. My management at the time could forecast everything. They basically looked at myself, the stats, the songs, and knew I'd be playing this venue at that time. The album will do this, and then you'll be doing this, and then it all happened. It all played out. And I think that's what they could do with the shows back in the day, because you could control a lot. There wasn't all these other devices, and people just have so much to keep them entertained now. So it's not like everyone in the lounge room watching this one show because that's all you have. You don't have Netflix or social media or anything. That's it. So what I do think it can do now is it's just another way to showcase your artistry that might set you aside from the millions of other things that are happening. It's just another good leg up that you might as well do, I feel, if you are confident enough that you can navigate through it. and people have. I've watched them navigate through the show and have a pretty healthy start to touring and getting their face out there and their music out there. And it's just what you do afterwards and how proactive you are when you're on television and capitalizing on that. You got to be very smart about it.
Yeah. People kind of write songs now for TikTok and like catchy stuff, social media stuff. Has that impacted your songwriting at all?
No, I think that would be the death of me. Setting out to be like, let's write a song that will work on TikTok. Or even, I don't even think of live. Like I don't think about what it will sound like live. My main focus is from start to finish, do I feel something in this song? Does it sound good? Does it make me feel something? And that's all I care about. So, yeah. And it's just a bonus. Like when I came up with this string of gossip in a bridge for two friends, it's like Sarah told Becky told blah, blah. I was like, that's creative. That's what the song needs. Yeah. It's just a bonus that I played with it a little bit on TikTok. Like that's just a bonus.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that line because we were like, how does she remember all the names?
Yeah,
you're
with great difficulty.
Oh my God.
It's like no one speak. Amy's concentrating.
Yeah. Okay, before we jump into the album, I did want to talk about this Drew Barrymore impression you did.
Oh yeah. Why do I do the things I do?
So I've actually got it here to have a listen to.
We have gone through archives of my old photography.
Oh my God. So I too have been going through some Drew photography archives, and I found one that I loved so much that I decided to make it my new record cover, Sunday Sadness. This is Drew. And this is me. Thank you, Drew. I love you.
Nice. Someone killed me.
Oh my God. Have you always done Drew impressions?
That's the worst Drew impression I think anyone's ever heard. Yeah, there you go. I'm a huge Drew Barrymore fan. I really love, I loved her like sort of rebellious years in the 90s of what she wore, and she was always in the magazines, like out, just like smoking and drinking. I was like, you're cool. It's so weird how that was cool. Like now it's not. Like now I feel like, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, the more healthy you are now, the cooler you are. But
I don't know. I think it's having a weird flip moment with vaping and stuff.
Oh yeah, true.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got like the kind of inspo for your cover for Sunday Sadness from that. And it is a really cool cover and it's very vintagey and cool. I thought that was awesome.
Great.
But yeah, I also wanted to know the name behind Sunday Sadness because a lot of things comes to my mind, but I want to know what's behind this name.
I want to know what comes to your mind.
Mine is Sunday Scaries.
Yes.
That's literally.
There it is. Well, there it is. Yeah, that's exactly what it means is firstly, it's just so difficult to think of a big, bold title for your album because all the cool stuff's taken. And you're constantly thinking, and it's such a broad, it is quite a broad album, and there's so many different moments in it. There's some sad moments, obviously, and there's some playful moments, and it's hard to like put them all together. But basically, I use Sunday evenings or afternoons to finish the album, like to really zone in on it, because otherwise I'd be sitting there overthinking my life, like thinking Sundays I just feel like I've screwed up everything. I'm like, I'm a mess. What am I even doing? Am I happy? Like, do I need to move countries? Where even is my passport if I wanted to do that? Where's my birth certificate? Haven't spoken to this person in ages. Haven't seen my nieces and nephews in ages. I'm useless. So it really hits me hard on a Sunday. So I put all my focus into the album.
That is a very good answer and very relatable. I feel that with Sundays. Now, one thing that's probably not as relatable is you've probably been closer to a Kardashian than most of us will ever be because you've worked with Travis Barker on your last album. And then on your first album, you worked with another Blink-182 member, Mark Hoppus. And now, Tom DeLonge on Sunday Sadness. Was this part of your master plan to like literally bring back Blink?
I thought you were going to say to get close to a Kardashian. I'll tell you the first time I ever got close to a Kardashian, it had nothing to do with Blink, was the very first late night show I played was James Corden.
Yep.
And Kim was on the same night as me. And I don't know if you remember what he does in that show, but you do the door open of who's up next. So Kim opens her door, which was next to me, and she's wearing this beautiful like slinky number, and I'm literally in black jeans and a white T-shirt. And so we do that, and then I joked around and said, I feel very underdressed. And then she yelled out, "You look great, babe."
Oh my God.
So anyway,
Wow.
that's just a little something for you. But Blink, I didn't plan it. It just happened. I don't know. It's like the world told me that this is going to happen for you because Mark, he reached out to me. Like he was like, we have some friends in common, which was this lady, Alison Hagendorf, who worked for Spotify at the time. And he said, next time you're in LA, let's work on a song. So like I literally flew to LA the next day and was like, let's do that thing that you said. Did that. Then Travis jumped on and he was like, I love the song you did with Mark. Let me know if you want some beats for your next album or whatever. So I was like, yes, I will use you. So that happened. And then it just made sense to try and get Tom. And the funny thing was they weren't together. Like over the time, they weren't even talking.
Yeah.
Mark and I, like, we didn't even, like, the discussion of the band or Tom wasn't really a thing. And then Tom was like, I'm going through a bunch, like when I was trying to get him on one, he was super busy he was making some movies and obviously the government and aliens and everything. And then by the time that I actually hung out with Tom a few times and I was like, oh, I want to do a song. He was like, he was on board, but I knew that he'd just told me the band's getting back together. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to get really busy. There's going to be a massive label that's going to probably stop me from doing this and everyone's involved. So it really took me a long time to get the approval for Tom. So he was the struggle. He was the hard one.
Oh, thank God.
I know. Trust me, babe. Oh, trust me. No one knows how much I stressed. And even my friends were like, so you got Tom on the album? I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And deep down, I'm like, this has got to happen. It has to happen.
Literally.
Like, yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Artists like Adele have said that they've written some songs that they will never perform live because they're too difficult emotionally to get through. Are there any songs like that on Sunday Sadness?
There's a song called I'm Sorry, which is, I guess the whole story behind it rocks me a little bit. Just sometimes I feel like I've made life really hard for everyone, but like as amazing as it looks, it's just not always amazing. And but I don't think I'll struggle. I think by this time I've got a really good handle on my emotions and how to compartmentalize my feelings and performance. But sometimes things take you by surprise. Like I remember playing at Kudos and I was playing Amy Shark, which is a song that's really heavy and it just overwhelmed. For some reason, if I let myself really think about it and if I'm really in the song, which you would think an artist is always in the song, but sometimes it's autopilot. Yeah. You don't know. It's not every song. It's just every now and then it happens. But I wasn't. I was really feeling it this night and I was just like really choking up and just couldn't get a handle on it. But yeah, it takes you by surprise.
Yeah.
There's nothing I would never sing in fear of doing it because I would always think, no, I'll be fine. And if something happens, well, I'm human.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Are there any other songs that you're really excited to perform live?
I'm really excited for Two Friends. I'm really excited for Gone. Gone is very like fast paced and ragey. And there's the last song on the album called Our Time Together. And it's a really cool guitar riff and it's just going to be a really pretty song to play. I think I might do it solo, but we'll see.
You have announced the Sunday Sadness Tour, which is a headline tour happening in Australia and New Zealand in October and November. What can audiences expect from those performances?
Well, it's just like a really solid set list. And I think that's always been my biggest goal is to have a set list that is fire and like exciting. And you never want a boring moment. And even when they're supposed to be boring, that's the stripped back bits that I just really want people to love and just be in the zone. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a hell of a show.
Speaking of like touring and shows, a lot of festivals have sadly been kind of getting cancelled, and the music industry in Australia and festivals is really like sadly, it's just getting stripped away, these live performances. How important are tours like this and getting that chance to connect with your audience now?
It's so, I mean, apart from just your soul, like as an artist, you put all this work into a record and you just want to go play it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our job. Like that's the bread and butter. So it's really important for Australians to back Aussie music. It doesn't matter if it's at an arena or if it's down at the local pub or like smaller venues, any venue. And yeah, especially while we're going through this weird time where festivals are having trouble, standing up, and it really sucks. I don't know why. Like it's kind of like nothing good lasts forever, Like everything, it's like I thought the big day out would always be around, and then that's not here. And I guess we always have to be looking forward, and hopefully someone's working on the next thing.
Some master grand plan that we don't know about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm hoping for that too.
Yep.
So.
I just know someone smart out there is working on some weird movement.
Totally.
It's going to fix everything.
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Someone smarter than me.
Well, thank you so much, Amy, for being on the Weekend Briefing.
Thanks for having me.
That was Amy Shark, and her new album, Sunday Sadness, is out now, and I definitely recommend giving it a listen. My favourite song is definitely Loving Me Lover. And now it's time for the Weekend List, where we give you everything to watch, eat, do and recommend. And this week I have our very own, one of our hosts of The Briefing, Sasha Barbagat.
Hi.
Sasha, welcome to the Weekend List. What is your first recommendation?
Thank you first for having me, because I love the Weekend List and I always listen. I'm like, oh, what are Antoinette and Helen going to talk about today? So I'm very excited to be involved this week. So my first recommendation is, it's not new per se, but it is a new season of something that you can get into, and it doesn't matter if you haven't seen the previous seasons.
Okay.
Taskmaster, New Zealand. New Zealand.
Yes.
Sorry, Tom Gleeson, the New Zealand version shits all over yours.
I'm sorry. Side note, aren't Kiwis just the funniest people?
So funny.
Like, so much funnier than us.
I think it's because they can swear. For some reason, the Australian one, because it plays in prime time, they can't swear. They can't be really dirty. But on the New Zealand one, they can be. So the season 5 has just started. My husband and I just started watching it, and it's excellent so far. So highly recommend. Taskmaster is one of those shows for me, especially doing the work that we do, where there is no agenda, there is no negativity. It is just genuinely funny people doing funny shit. There's no ego. There's no being mean to each other. It's all just fun and silly, and it is such an escape for me. I love it.
Can you explain a little bit of what Taskmaster is?
Yeah, so there's a host who's the taskmaster and his assistant, and basically they set tasks for comedians and they have to complete them. But these are like really silly tasks. So, one was they had to guess which milk was almond milk without taste. So they were like fingering bottles of milk or like putting their ears in them. Like, it was very bizarre. Those sort of tasks is just so silly and fun. I love it.
I love that. And we actually had Jenny Tien from Australia's Taskmaster on, and she had a really funny chat with Antoinette. So if you want to have a listen and get more about the show, jump back to that episode with Jenny Tien. Now, my first recommendation is food to eat. It is a one-pot kind of lasagna dish with a twist.
Okay.
So I found this on Recipe Tin Eats.
Oh my God, I love Nagi Maihashi.
Yes.
We need her on the Weekend Briefing.
I'm trying.
Okay. Good.
So aside from that, pretty much what you do is, you know how you have stuffed ricotta shells and you bake them all together?
Yeah.
It's like that, but it's with fresh lasagna sheets. You place out the lasagna sheet and you kind of fill it like a sausage roll and twist it up. And then you cut that into 3 and then place it all into the dish until the dish is full. the red pasta sauces throughout the dish, top it with
Yum.
cheese, bake it. You
Yep.
can have meat, veggies, whatever.
Obsessed.
But it's really easy and it's fun. But the thing is, you do need fresh lasagna sheets. You can't just get the dried ones from, your pasta.
Pasta aisle, yeah.
You can't just get, the
Yeah, no,
dried
I know exactly
ones.
what you're talking about. You need the ones from the fridge, not from the pasta aisle.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's super easy, quick, one pot, one dish, good for the family, good for meal prepping, everything. So that's mine. What's your second recommendation?
Mine's also food. Now, I don't want people to yell at me for this because this might sound really like I'm delayed and I'm late to the party. Find a Latin American restaurant near you. I went out for Latin American food. So I'm talking Peruvian, Brazilian, and not Brazilian barbecue. I'm talking like restaurant style Brazilian food, Argentinian, Bolivian. I went out to this amazing place, and this was in Sydney, but there's Latin American food all over Australia, but it's not something, we've got plenty of Thai. We've got plenty of Indian. We've got Guzmani Gomez. We've got Macca's. Where is your local Latin American? Find it and eat at it because it was the best meal I've had in a very, very long time. I had ox tongue, which is surprisingly delicious.
Oh my God.
Like just the best empanadas, like
Yum.
amazing food and really cool wine as well, Latin American wine. So find one near you and go eat at it.
I would do that. That's a good one.
Thank you.
My last recommendation is a DIY nails. Like I know I've talked about nails and doing that yourself before, but I'm on a budget and this is a really good Cosy Lives hack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I finally tried the DIY powder kind of S&S dip kits.
Okay, yeah. How did it go? Because I used to always get my nails done and it's been one of my Cosy Lives moves is to stop getting my nails done.
Same.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Have you got it on now?
Yeah, they're hard as a rock.
They look so good.
Except they're a bit dodge because I feel like I just need a bit more practice.
Okay, but from here, we're
From
sitting at a
afar,
desk. I cannot.
Amazing.
There's
and
nothing wrong with them.
they're so hard. Like
Love that.
They're actually, it feels like I have gotten them done. The only thing is they're a bit rough around the edges. But I think with practice, I really think that this is like on the top of the list for DIY nails.
Okay.
And I got my pack from Aldi for around $30.
So that's not even the cost of one
No.
SNS.
You can get
Yeah,
them,
60
I think,
bucks out.
look, they're sold out in Aldi now.
Of course.
But you can get them online for like ranging from like 50. You can get higher end ones that are 150. But if you really want to look into it and save those dollars, this DIY nail dip kit, really good.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
Helen. Thanks for having me and thanks for telling me to get my nails done.
No, your nails are great.
I don't know. I think they look pretty good, but I think they could do some professional help.
Maybe from afar like mine.
Yeah.
We'll just keep them afar. Well, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for being with us and tuning in. It's always a pleasure. If you want more of the Weekend Briefing, you can find us on the Listener app or wherever you get your podcasts from. And it also really helps us if you follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. And why not give us a cheeky rating and review for this fabulous interview with Amy Shark? FYI, you can actually rate and review every ep. But until then, we will be back in your ears on Monday morning where the team will have the latest headlines straight to your headphones along with some very interesting interviews. Stay safe, everyone.
Listener.